Hello and welcome back to another video for Final Fantasy XIV with me, Meoni, continuing our look at Island Sanctuary in patch 6.5. The Island Sanctuary additions in 6.5 are plentiful in preparation to presumably wind down the content for the island as Square Enix plan to cover new lifestyle content in Dawn Trail and beyond, and this might be the last major update for the island. With this then comes a brand new rank upgrade of granaries and workshops, both locked behind leveling your Island Sanctuary rank. And quite honestly, I quite like both of the styles that they've gone for, these neon lights around the area. A little brief tour shows you that the balconies stretch around these staircases. There's a lot of nature meets technology in this with the crystals, and a lot of rooms that you can't go into in a lot of these places, but rank 18 will be your granary upgrades and rank 19 is your workshop upgrades to maximum. But yeah, that's what those look like. They're pretty good. They're pretty good. I think I prefer the red brick build personally, but these are nice. And I think with the workshops, it's growing on me slightly, pun intended, with the trees in their various places. And it does seem a lot more open plan rather than everything looking like a greenhouse. You notice on the granary there actually was a greenhouse on the top of it, but instead of the buildings having that kind of feel as well. I don't know. I'm not sure which I prefer. I guess that's the beauty of being able to switch between them whenever we want to, without really penalizing us in terms of their rank up efficiency bonuses and the like. So all in all, quite pleased with the buildings. Yeah, overall. And there are new seeds, including watermelon, sweet potatoes, broccoli, and buffalo beans to plant, but unfortunately not an expansion of the land itself, so you'll still have to juggle your crops around, unfortunately. And with new rare animals also added, unfortunately no upgrade is given to the allowed amount of animals, so you'll still have to be limited to 20. Hopefully they address this in the future. The new Hideaway renovation is quite awesome to look at too, with the stained glass roof chimneys spewing ether on top of little sparkles that look really amazing at nighttime. Instead of a second floor internally with rooms, you get a second floor access from the outside of the building on the right side facing the entrance of it. So walking up this staircase, it takes you up to a balcony section where mammoths are busy away tidying the place up. A further staircase with another balcony takes you up to the top level with this nice seating area, and another balcony with stairs leading from it. You have these skylights in the roof of the actual building to let sunlight in during the day, and a much bigger one above the bay window area downstairs. It makes me wish then that we could place indoors housing items here, if I'm honest, because that bay window is just practically dying for a curved sofa and a coffee table. When you actually come into the Hideaway itself then at night, you're greeted with this beautiful green and blue chandelier shining blue light down. We also have some lovely warm lanterns to balance out that light, and we have some flowers all around. I thought we'd have a look at it at night first and then have a look at day. I love the new bed area, not that we had much privacy before anyway, but it's even more reminiscent of the first shack building with the bed open plan where it is now. It's quite nice. I like the windows all around the building, where the previous content patch made the building look like more of a greenhouse. This one makes it look like a proper manor house. Part of me still wishes the upstairs was still a thing, even with this new look with separate rooms, but hey, that's what the appearance change button is actually for. I do like the building though overall, in terms of its design. It is growing on me the longer I look at it. But can the mammoths, please, for the love of the 12, make a glass roof that actually doesn't leak? This is surely a health and safety violation somewhere, and there's only so much sweeping up one cat can do. Perhaps they should discover sealant or something in the workshop, I don't know. Additionally, you may have noticed the floor has changed in the entire sanctuary. Now we have, instead of the old brickwork with the upgrade of the Hideaway, this crazy paving, as I'm going to call it. It really pops off against the brass of the new building types with the neon lines across them, again showing a huge evolution in time frame and theme. It does feel like we've passed through time, like some kind of time traveler, like the sanctuary has been built up and we've grown with it, which is a really neat idea and one I only really appreciate now. This is tied to the Hideaway, so if you don't like the new floor, you will have to revert the Hideaway main building as well, so bear that in mind. upgrade. A new landmark was added in 6.5. This is the Sanctuary. This is an answer to the request for a place to have wedding ceremonies and renewing of vows and the like for roleplay. Adding more elements for roleplay activity is sure to be something that makes a lot of people happy in our community, but even just aesthetically, this thing looks great if you did nothing with it. Both in the day as a shining glass room with beautiful marble white and crystals hanging around and floating, but at night it really comes to life with a warm yet blue sort of glow. Absolutely love this one. I hope they add more landmarks like this. I would love to see more crystalline structures, and I hope they're not done with landmarks. There is a new quest rewarding a new glamour that's available first of all at rank 19. If you don't see this quest like me, and I hit level 20 and still didn't see it, it's actually triggered by the fact not only you need to be rank 19, but you also need to have finished all of the buildings at max rank. The reward is a fairly unassuming vacationer's outfit comprising of a polo shirt, some shorts, and some horrible shoes. It's not my favorite glamour by a long shot, but I think that the previous gear, like the baronial stuff from the old quests, were probably, my favorite of the rewards from those quests so far. I don't think this one is that great. It dies as you would expect. Block colors, it's a resort sort of staff member outfit, and you've got this little chocobo on the embroidery. The watch is quite nice though. It's like a wristwatch. Unfortunately, it doesn't actually tell the time. I suppose that would be difficult to do in the game. Even though we have housing items that do that, I'm not sure if that translates well to outfits. It's okay. It's not something I would personally want to wear on my character though, but you might disagree. Upon reaching 20 in the Island Sanctuary, I received a new title, which is the Count of Monte Cowrie. This also opened up a selection of new items on the Cowrie vendor, specifically for rank 20. First of which is a brand new bike mount, the Garland GL2T, which we also looked at in a previous video. I'll link in the description. This is purchased for 100,000 cowries, which sounds like a lot, but if you've stockpiled materials so far from your leavings and other things, we only really need around 100 or 200 of these in surplus, so most of the cowries, in addition to the good use of workshops each day, come from selling claws and fur and the like in bulk. If you are wondering how to level super fast in the Island Sanctuary, some people will tell you to just go hit rocks in a loop at the top of the mountain, which is actually quite accurate, but it gets super draining. So what I usually do, at least for the first level with a new patch, is make restraints and feed. Restraints of every type up to the maximum allowed. Every craft gets you EXP for the island, and it's more than 10, which you get from hitting rocks and other things. But you get the idea. Go grab the vines, apples, all sorts of bits and pieces that are used for all of those things. Craft everything you physically can up to maximum, which is always a good idea anyway, because then you've got a stockpile for your food and things. You never have to worry about your animals going without feed if you're auto-making your mammoths look after that stuff. And yeah, if you get bored of that, or you get to the point where you can't take any more in your inventory, essentially my advice to you is to walk away and just set up your workshop for the week and come back later. Don't do what I did, but if you want to, you can power level it by hitting the mountain loops on the summit, rocks after rocks after rocks, or clay loops down at the riverbed. That's another option. But again, you're going to have to keep going back to trade in a lot of that stuff for the green cowries to get rid of it once you hit maximum, and it's really easy to get maximum after a couple of hours, you'll notice. One of the things that they did add in 6.5 to Island Sanctuary is a new area in the cave. I would suggest going and getting as many materials as you physically can from that area, because the new items from that are used for the workshop upgrades and the like. So maximize your time. If you want to power level, do it efficiently. Go and get as many of the new materials as you can, or anything that you actually seem to be short of, especially for the upcoming weeks of making carries. But essentially the best way to do Island Sanctuary is not like me. Do it passively over time and just do your workshop, send your granary out. Don't make it rule your schedule. That's not what this content is for. I just maximize my time along with my insomnia and a Steam Deck in bed to happen quicker for videos just for you. If I was doing this without being a video content creator, I would probably just take it easy. which is my advice to you. It's not a race. Another reward then is the Felicitous outfit. This one a lot of people like, including myself. It's one of my favorite outfits, designed to kind of look like the Felicitous furball, and sharing a design with the Devout gear from the Final Fantasy III video game. This will cost you 12,000 calories for all 5 pieces of this new glamour set, and it's 5 separate pieces, so that's nice. The outfit is honestly, and I truly think this, my new favorite outfit in the game. It ticks all of the boxes for me. We did a full video on this though, so a link will be in the description if you want to go look at that. It features dyes and everything else you'd want to know. Additionally, at rank 20 Island Sanctuary, if you've finished all of your buildings to their new maximum rank as well, you'll get the notification the Felicitous Favors has unlocked. Essentially, what this boils down to with this new feature is that the Felicitous Furball NPC will give you a new token currency every time you successfully ship a certain item or a set of items within that week or the next. Both the current week and the next scheduled week are listed for the items, along with any bonuses to the tickets that you will also receive. If you can see here, this week would be honey, salt cod, and lanterns. If I was to ship that amount of those items this week, I will get said tokens as well as the bonus for doing so. You can also see the bonuses give up to about 30 tokens. So if we do some quick mathematics, that means maybe in 1 week your minimum possible could be about 40 tokens, and your maximum would probably be over 100, although I'm not sure how far everything could be pushed in each direction. More realistically, an average of around 70 tokens a week, if you did everything, is more reasonable to look at as a sample. Bearing that in mind then, the new Horrendous Hoarder menu, the vendor over here, allows you to buy vegetal vouchers, which are the currency used to buy mounts at a ratio of 10 Felicitous tokens for 1 voucher. Or the Sanctuary material container is the other item, which interestingly might be where some of the new missing housing items people are talking about could be from. A lot of people are wondering where the mobile staircase might be. Well, it's a good chance it's in this box. Considering nobody will have opened any of these boxes yet, it's just physically impossible, and it does mention giving you a random selection of items, including Island Sanctuary minions and furnishings, so that's what I guess. If we were instead to focus on the vegetal vouchers for mounts then, with an average of tokens per week, the 70 we're using as an example, then that would result in just 7 vegetal vouchers for that average week. Now, if we were to back out and go to the other menu on the Horrendous Hoarder NPC, you can buy the mounts. They will probably add more mounts to this in the future, but one is available, the Island Adenium Whistle. This will cost you 200 vegetal vouchers, so the bare average tokens without any other bonuses taken into consideration means that on average it will take players who do it every week without fail to ship every item without talking about bonuses at least 29 weeks. And the bare minimum, I'd probably say about 27 weeks if you're lucky with bonuses, or if there is some extra token reward I might not have seen somewhere and calculated. But this mount is market tradable, so that means you're going to be able to make a ton of gil if you do this, potentially. Interesting regardless, so I guess I'll see you in like a year or so for the mount video. I don't know. I will try and stick to it, but with FanFest and other things coming up, there's no way I'm going to be able to commit to this every week. Not a chance. Some of the best new features then to go with this Felicitous Favors is the new heads-up displays on the workshops. Once you've unlocked this, to make it even easier, they've made it so that the Felicitous Favors for the current cycle are shown with a Felicitous Favors icon with the common Felicitous Furball head showing this week, and there's also a Felicitous Furball head with a green arrow, meaning that that's the next week as well. So you can instantly see which items go with which other items, and you can combine them. Also, if you place these things on here, one of the new features, this applies to any items. Let's say you wanted to set up one day and then you wanted to repeat that for another 2 workshops. You can actually, once you've completed one of the lines, one of the workshops, you can right click or sub command on it and copy that agenda, then go to the next one, and instead of clicking with left click or normal clicking with your controller, you can subcommand or right click and you can paste it in. You can apply that agenda. So instead of you having to list all of this stuff separately, you can now place them as, for the first one and then copy paste, which is really awesome. You can also access from the new workshop window, when you've unlocked everything, the new Felicitous furball menu to save you having to go back to the actual furball itself, which is really cool. So if you wanted to see where you were at and what things you needed to craft, you don't have to run around like a silly person. You can get it all done in one place, which is brilliant. More quality of life changes exist, but these are definitely some of the best ones they've ever added, and I think it makes this new feature work straight out of the box as opposed to being needed to be patched later. And hopefully they can just focus on new additions and new items for us to collect. All in all, the Island Sanctuary additions are pretty exciting, and I enjoyed my time that I spent. I would say that there is still a worry personally about where this content is going to end up. Naoki Yoshida, the producer and director, as we said at the start of the video of 14, said during an interview, I think it might have been with Dengeki magazine or Famitsu, that they are ending Island Sanctuary's main content with this patch in terms of its major updates and looking to do other lifestyle content in Dawntrail and above. So that's not to say there won't be more rewards added in the future, especially since they've just added new voucher, currencies and minigames and the like, but it does feel kind of sad to potentially never see another rank up, area or vision past this point. I do actually feel like I've got quite close to my sanctuary, and I don't want to think I'm just going to leave it in complete obscurity in Dawntrail and beyond. I personally hope they do more with it in the future, maybe new islands themselves, new mini-games, anything really. I'd just love to have like a race course on my island with a time trial or something, anything at this point. But that's just me, I enjoyed the content, you might not. Anyway, thank you for watching. Enjoy your sanctuary at your own pace, try not to overdo it, and enjoy what time you have with what I think that most people should be able to agree, regardless of whether they liked or disliked Island Sanctuary, is a really interesting and quite unique piece of technology that is probably going to be the forerunner of a lot of other content. But yeah, I'll leave you on this somber view of my Island Sanctuary finished in potentially its last and final form. Thank you, Island Sanctuary, and thank you, Square Enix, for the journey. It's quite fun, actually. I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.